Welcome to Beyond the Press Release, a production of Gore Call, in which we take the time to speak with small cap executives after they put out important news. With us today, do I need to do some? Probably not. But for the new people that have been joining because they saw a nice big contract win today, we've got Steve McAuley, CEO of Empire Clinics, trades in Canada, CBDT, for our friends in the US, EPWCF, and for our friends in Europe on Frankfurt under 8EC. For those of you who are new, Empower is an integrated healthcare company. We don't say that lightly because you're going to hear the talk is backed by the walk. They provide body and mind wellness for patients through its clinics, rapidly expanding through Canada, digital and telemedicine, and world-class medical diagnostic labs, especially the one that's out in Dallas. Clinics are being rolled out in Canada right now as follows: 5 that are operational, 7 that are in development and construction. We got an update on that. 8 that are in acquisition mode that are going to take place and close right after the new year, and 21 that are in the pipeline. More than the lip service, all that is translated into 1,005% year-over-year revenue growth in Q2, 372% revenue growth in Q3, and 3.22 million for the 9 months of revenue. That's up about 1,350%. But the big news today is out of their laboratory side. Empire Clinics Chi Medical Lab secures COVID-19 testing contract for large gaming event in Las Vegas. Steve, welcome back, my friend.
Hey, George, thanks very much. I appreciate it. I always enjoy being on the show.
Love the background. It's got that green Christmassy feel just in time for this gift.
Yes.
Hey.
Happy holidays, right?
And happy holidays and Merry Christmas to everybody that's watching. This contract, before we get into the details, a multi-day event that marks one of the largest gaming events in the US. So this isn't your ordinary contract win. This is a great high-profile contract win for Chi, which has probably been long overdue. How did it come about, and how much of this is as a result of your new business development processes, and even the person that you've hired to kind of head that for Chi?
Yeah, thank you. Well, we're very pleased with this result, and you're right. It's a bit overdue for Chi. We've really invested in them, expanded the lab, got them really focused on some new product development. But more importantly, we need them to be, a strong business development shop, right? We have products and we have services, and we need to shout about it around the country. So this opportunity was a referral. But it wasn't just Chi working on it. They had to win this bid. I believe there were 5 outfits that were bidding on this contract. The client is European, I think UK based. And this is a big annual conference that they've run at the Aria Hotel and Casino in Las Vegas. And Chi, won the bid. And it was just that. It was a tender bidding situation. They put their best foot forward, led by Yoshi Tyler, our president at Chi, and our team of molecular scientists. And yes, we do have a new business development person that's on board now. Her name is Kelly. And we're really hopeful that, Chi can leverage a win like this and gain credibility, gain experience, and get after some more bids like this, whether it's Las Vegas or any part of the country where there might be an event or a conference.
So safe to say, hopefully now there's more to come out of Chi. Chi's kind of, finally gotten out there, and new biz dev people, new processes in place, because that was always the bit of the weakness with Chi. Fantastic lab, fantastic product, fantastic services, but the biz dev side wasn't quite, was a missing piece.
Yeah, it really wasn't to the standards that I really needed to see from them. Again, as you said, there's a lot of incredible qualities with Chi as a business, Chi as a team, Chi as a leadership. But we need to have that sort of business development mindset in everything that we do. And it's a competitive landscape out there, but I believe that, Chi is positioned to win more business like this. And this is high quality business. They're on site right now. They've been there for 10 days in the setup phase, obviously in the convention itself, which is running throughout this weekend. And I think even it closes out today. And then there'll be post, teardown work. So really exciting contract for us. We got some big deposits up front. going into it. So, we made sure that we've handled ourselves appropriately. This is the type of kind of, again, project or client or, sector like a conference in Las Vegas that we're absolutely equipped to deliver on.
And I'm glad so I'm glad you said about the deposit. Actually, I didn't know that. So I want to inquire about that. But the question I have is, and I've seen a couple of questions online when the press release came out. The press release says that you're expected to do about 6,000 plus rapid antigen and PCR tests. Is that a potential number? It could get there, or is that more of an approximate number that you think that you're going to get in and around there?
Yeah, so that's what our expectation is. So, they're literally doing testing every day. You have to understand the client, every participant, whether it's a vendor, a contractor, staff of the client, and then the conference participants, everybody has to get tested every single day. So it's not like you do one rapid test up front and that's good for the entire event and all venues. It's every single day. It's a new rapid test. There's a color-coded wristband that's provided every single day, new color every day. And really the process is you get your rapid antigen test administered by the CHI team. If your test is negative, you get your wristband and you get to go into the conference. If you happen to get screened and you test preliminary positive, then you go for secondary rapid PCR testing. So we've got new rapid point of care test equipment that we've actually brought in. It's on site. So there's no tests actually go back to our lab. It's all administered on site. And that's what the client needed. Imagine you've got to have a good kind of customer satisfaction experience with all of this as well, especially when you're testing every person every single day. So it's a real large scale program. So that's 6,000 units. We ship 6,000 units to the site in anticipation of that volume. Yeah. So, it's quite a big contract for us. It's probably somewhere up, in the neighborhood of $500,000 over that time period. The profitability is very good. So, I'm really pleased with, this outcome that CHI has been able to deliver for us.
So, but I'm glad you brought that up, because when you said earlier it was a tender process, that, okay, is this a loss leader? You have to give it away to win the business because there are 5 people tendering. But if it's $500,000, so if you're expecting about $500,000 over this 10-day process, that's a healthy revenue number with some decent margin built into it.
Yeah, it absolutely is. This is there's health and safety. This client is very concerned about the health and safety of all of its participants, whether staff or vendors or event participants. I think this kind of feels like the new norm going forward, that, if you want to conduct high quality events and conferences and keep kind of the conference and event world going, this, either daily testing or call it regular testing for participants, I think is just going to be required. The other thing that's interesting is we partnered with Fobi. As you know, they're a technology partner of ours, and Fobi helped build an SMS communication and confirmation system that we rolled out at this event. So that's going to be very interesting as well, to see how we use that in the future. Was
that through their Wallet Pass technology?
It's actually an SMS platform.
Okay, so something a little bit new.
It's a brand new platform that was just built, like I say, in conjunction with Fobi for this event. And then this will be a really nice tech product that we'll be able to use in other testing scenarios going forward.
Just making notes of this because that's something new. So I want to make sure I bring that up with our good friend Rob. So this is a high profile win. It comes with some great revenue. And you're talking about a deposit. So what kind of deposit do you get on something like this? Because you've committed a lot of resources, people and time.
Oh yeah, we definitely committed a lot of resources to this. So, it's really, in advance or greater than 50%. I believe that we received upfront. Again, we have to be prudent in how we take on contracts. We have to be very cognizant of our cash flow. And so again, I think the team did a great job in negotiating not only the long-term contract, the contract itself and the total fees and revenue that go with it, and expense reimbursement as well. but we were able to, protect our cash flow, get a nice deposit up front that, really gives us sort of safety and security to go in and administer the full contract.
Let's switch gears a little bit. And again, congratulations on that. That's great. Good, no high profile revenue deposit. That's it's a nice win for kind. I think a lot of shareholders are going to start breathing a little easier, thinking, okay, this is probably not an outlier. It's not a one-time only thing. So there's probably more to come, and we'll hopefully look for that. Let's switch over to the clinics. Here we are. It's December the 13th. I think it's December 13th. You said in our last interview you'd be coming to Ontario in December for some clinic openings. Is that still happening? And if so, hey, when are we going to see it?
Yeah, we actually went through the calendar this morning with Doctors Jordan and Aviv. And so, really how things are kind of lining up is we're anticipating that the Kitchener location opens up actually one week from now, opens its doors to start booking patients. And then we've got both London, Ontario and Etobicoke Lakeshore still both opening in the month of December. And I think we are looking at the 29th and 30th for ribbon cutting ceremonies for each of those locations. We'll formally announce that in the coming days. But that's sort of what we're anticipating. It didn't make sense to try to do those before Christmas holidays. It's just not a good time for everybody. But certainly that window between the holidays and New Year's seems to fit. So we'll let
great way to end off the year with shareholders too, all meeting together at locations 6, 7, and 8. 7 and 8, but 6 will have been opened in Kitchener. So 7 and 8 will be live.
Yeah, that's exactly it. And that was kind of our hope all along, was to be able to get this through, get it open, start booking appointments with patients, and be able to just come out and share, meet with everybody and talk and just have some good dialogue about the accomplishments of the year. But then I think more importantly, the key is what we've set up for 2022, and just a reminder to everybody is that the moment that we open a clinic location and we start seeing patients, that is revenue that commences that very moment. And then it takes us about 6 weeks to get into the billing and cash flow cycle in Ontario with OHIP. But once we do, that contribution just keeps on coming in, month out.
When do you actually count the revenue, Steve? Do you count it when George walks into your clinic and you charge them, or do you count it when the revenue comes in from OHIP or the insurance company?
Well, the revenue recognition actually is, when the patient visit takes place and that billing code gets sent off to the ministry. We then, obviously from an accounting standpoint, we're just posting an accounts receivable, and then approximately 4 to 6 weeks later, you get your receipt from the ministry, a statement from the ministry, and you see the funds in the account a few days later. So you start to get into a rhythm. So it's billing code, accounts receivable, get the statement from the ministry the following month, and the payment comes in shortly thereafter. So it's really a nice rhythm that you get into. You just have to get through that kind of first 6 weeks, but we understand that. So as an example, if you look at the recent ones we opened, such as Hamilton, Etobicoke Browns line, Mississauga was just opened. I mean, at the end of the week last week, the doctors showed me the ministry billing statement for Etobicoke Browns line. And so we've got 4 doctors, they're faux doctors. So we know exactly what these initial billing codes look like each month. And we expect to deposit those funds in the next few days.
But I like the fact that the revenue does hit when George, walks out of the clinic and you bill it, because that goes back to your point of the clinics immediately start generating revenue the day they open the door.
Yes, they do.
So that's going to bring operational up to 6, and then 7 and 8, December 29th and 30th. Plus you've got 8 more under acquisition that you've already told the market will take place after the new year for Correct. Tax efficiency reasons, maybe even accounting and auditing reasons, given what happened last year with the acquisition Q4.
Yeah, very much so. Yeah, that's exactly right. So I think the numbers work out with the two groups who each have 4 locations. I think there's 600,000 patients in their combined rosters. They both currently have a run rate of about 4 to 4.2 million annually just through paramedical services. So we get those closed and behind us early in the new year. We've got 15 operational locations, all sort of ticking along. And then we start to add in our paramedical services. We add in our specialty services. We've got the pilot going with teledermatology, where we're going to have 3 locations up and running here shortly. The first one's already up in Etobicoke Brown's line. So the model is starting to really materialize. We're going to have a nice accretive fourth quarter. When you think of MediSure, we're getting a full quarter of contribution. We have, I guess, 7 locations fully operational by the time we get to the end of December. We've got Kai Medical performing and having a really nice contract here in the fourth quarter. So, we're feeling a bit, nice positive momentum, but it really sets us up for really a so solid full year annual run rate in 2022. Never mind what else, comes along at a later date, but just on the TMC clinics that we know are going to be live, and we get, really a full year's contribution of all those 15 locations. And then the other pipeline ones fill in, as the quarters go along. And then, like I say, whatever else comes along, we have a very, very healthy pipeline of M&A deals that we're looking at all various stages. And we do anticipate, as I've said before, starting to turn our attention back to the United States with other big opportunities down there.
So without making this a year end, because it's not a year end summary kind of interview, but we did kind of go off on the clinic side, because obviously that's the revenue that most people are looking at right now. Do you feel comfortable, telling shareholders, hey, we know the stock price hasn't gone the way we want it to go. We know we have to go through this transitionary period from, this business to this business, but you got any concerns about how the company is ending off the year, and more importantly, the entire path that it's got set in front of itself with clinics, certain revenues, for all of 2022?
Well, no, I'm actually very pleased with the way the year end is kind of looking like it's going to finish off. So, fourth quarter is building up nicely. And then, everything that we've been putting in place, so transitioning away from the old types of assets, getting these the complete focus on pure play integrated healthcare, our priority. Additional assets like MediSure, and they're building up on having a real nice fourth quarter for us. So we've been talking about it all year long. This has been a year of transition, but when you look at the accumulation, like the building blocks that are in place now for 2022 and beyond, I think everybody should have a real nice, quiet confidence about where our revenues and cash flows are going for 2022. We've been mapping it out the whole way along, and it's just getting done. And so I think, I feel very optimistic about our 2022. I hope that we're articulating where that's going. We do have a new investor relations deck that's going to be coming out in the very near future that I think will help continue to tell that story of where we're going, and focus our energy and our narrative on that. Cleaned up the past legacy assets, getting them off the books and closed, and just continue with our journey like we've always said we would.
Empower is at this really funny point that I've been at before with multiple companies in the past, where friends of mine or shareholders are saying, they're what do you have to say about the stock price? Because people get, rightfully so, they get worried, they get concerned, even they get upset. And on each of 4 occasions I can think of just over the last 4 years, when I've been confident in the nature of the business, and by the way, this is a personal opinion of mine, but I've said to people, hey, I'm not happy about the share price, but I'm not worried about it either, because the underlying business is strong and growing. It'll get there when it'll get there. And I think, in my personal opinion, I'm not giving advice to anybody. You got to make your, don't point to this and say it's why you did X or didn't do Y, but I think that's where Empower is at. And I look at the share price, am I happy with it? No. Am I worried? No. I wasn't going to be a seller at 50 or 75 cents personally anyway. So, even if it was there, but I'm really not worried at all. I look forward to what Empower is going to do in 2022, because it seems like there's so much to come. And we'll save that for a later discussion. We'll go through the deck. We'll do what we call beyond the deck, where we go through it, identify everything. But Steve, I think this is a great example of what Kai just came up with, just like that. Weren't expecting it, and can't wait to see it.
Yeah, it is. It is. I just, everybody just please keep in mind that there's an entire workforce in these divisions that are working so diligently every single day. Like if you talk to these people, you talk to Kai and you talk to Yoshi and her team members, and Kelly, a new business development person who just joined us. I mean, they're energized every single day. They are working long hours. They're working smart. They're hungry. And so I've got a great deal of faith in how they will perform. We always want to see more, wins like the one that we just did. But we just have to keep diligent with our plans, have a real strong business development mindset. And if we do across all of our divisions, we're going to win new deals at Kai. We're going to win new deals and sell more product and get on the shelves of pharmacies through MediSure. We're going to continue to open our TMC clinics, and we're going to get our fair share of M&A opportunities that we will execute on. And we'll continue to go back to our theme, which is just constant execution, and keep just moving with not lose sight on our longer term goals. And my job is to keep trying to tell the story to our followers, find new followers. Thankfully, we continue to have strong daily liquidity. And December is always a tough time for a lot of markets. And so again, we're not happy with share price the way it is, but I don't think that this is the future of our share price. Our fundamentals dictate that it couldn't be. So we just need to all sort of stay the course here, keep telling the story, talking it up, and find new followers if we need them. And we're grateful to the existing supporters who have been with us all along.
Yeah, I'll go one step further. You're not just telling the story. In other words, you're not just talking the talk, you're walking the walk, because here's a big win for Kai. It's a great high level, really high visibility win.
Yeah.
You got 3 more clinics opening. You're going to be here for 2 of those at the end of the year. So you're not just telling the story, you're walking the story. And that's a difference between Empower and so many companies in the small cap world. George Calm can say, we got these great widgets and we're going to sell these widgets. But if you're not selling them at the end of the day, you're just telling. In this case, Steve, you're executing. So for today, we're going to celebrate this big win. Congratulate you and the team for another great win. And for everybody that's in the GTA, keep your eyes open for the official invite and announcement from Steve and his group, because I can't wait to see all of you again on December 29th and 30th. It's going to be a great way to get all of us together again, end the year, and look forward to 2022 together.
Great, George. Hey, thank you. I'm looking forward to it as well. And thanks again for the time.
For everybody at home, you've been watching or you've been listening by podcast on Spotify, Google, Apple, or your favorite podcast platform, to Steve McAuley, CEO of Empire Clinics, trades on CBDT in Canada, EPWCF in the US, and AEC for our loyal shareholders in Europe on Frankfurt. Do your due diligence on Agoracom, start there on the profile, and then from there, do your deep dive due diligence on the Empire website. Thanks for joining us. Have a great day. See you next time. Hey guys, this video is over, but don't forget to help your company by liking it and even leaving a comment below. And then don't forget to help yourself by subscribing to our channel and never missing another great Agoracom small cap video.